Shibarium is here, but what should we expect to see in these coming weeks as Shibarium really starts to ramp up? We're going to be answering that question here today as to what we should be expecting to see from Shibarium in these coming weeks. Let's dive into it. All right, so first of all, here is Shytoshi's official Twitter account. You guys can see just a couple hours ago, we received this blog post outlining the Shibarium final scaling update. Now, if you guys know, we've been covering for quite a bit these different scaling issues that the Shibarium network's been having and covering these different updates. Now, this update in particular contains some critical information, so make sure you guys stay till the end because there's some critical information that a ton of people are overlooking. So let's dive into what this says. So first of all, we can see at the top, Shibarium is live and operating well. So Shibarium is officially live now. You guys should be able to go ahead and use the network, but there's a couple caveats that you need to be aware of before you use Shibarium. Before we talk about those caveats, let's talk about what they did to actually get this problem fixed, because obviously we don't want this problem to happen again, right, where Shibarium goes down. So how did they fix this problem? Let's dive into that. So right now, before they even made an announcement, this is kind of amazing actually, before they even made the announcement that Shibarium's live, right now there are 65,000 different wallets on the Shibarium network and over 350,000 different transactions, which is crazy because they didn't even make an announcement and they already had all of this happening so far. So that's great to see. And what basically happened is that they ended up calling in some help as soon as they had problems, and they called the help of the Polygon team. This is something that I suspected because Shibarium is basically a fork of the Polygon network, so it makes sense that they'd call the Polygon team, the people who basically they forked their code, and ask them for help. That makes total sense. So that's great to see that they were able to get the help from the Polygon team. They specifically outline a couple different people who really helped the Shibarium team with these scaling problems. So it's great to see that the Polygon team was willing to help and actively jumped in to help get this issue solved so quick for the Shibarium network. Because the Shibarium network, yes, it was down for a couple days, but the fact that they got all these scaling problems solved within just a couple days is absolutely amazing. Normally this kind of thing would take months, if not, or a month, if not multiple months. So the fact that they got this solved so quick is amazing. Now here's our first really critical note if you guys are going to be using the Shibarium network. A note about bridge withdrawal process. It is by design that the SHIB, leash, and WETH wrapped Ethereum withdrawals through the bridge take at least 2 checkpoints, which is going to be anywhere between 45 minutes to 3 hours. So if you're trying to actually withdraw a balance from the Shibarium network, from my understanding here, expect to wait at least 45 minutes to 3 hours. This is not going to be a transaction that processes within a couple minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Expect this to take quite a bit of time. A lot of people are used to these different bridges going pretty quick. You can go from ETH to Polygon pretty quick. In this circumstance for Shibarium, expect it to take a while. Now in the future, I expect this to be changed and reduced, but I think this is a limiting function that they have right now to try and control the massive volume that they were having. So expect it to take quite a while. Don't panic if your transaction doesn't show up in 30 minutes or so. It's going to be taking 45 minutes to 3 hours. Also important to note that BONE withdrawals will take up to 7 days. Now, this is a little bit of an oof. I got to be honest with you guys. This is not ideal. Again, I expect this to drop over time, but 7 days is a long time for you to withdraw from a network. So again, if you're putting money on the network, expect it to stay there for a while. Don't expect to be able to pull it out and then send it over somewhere else. So just be prepared for that to happen, okay? Now, hopefully in the future, different exchanges will start to utilize the Shibarium network so you could actually get around these long time periods, hopefully. But for now, just be prepared for these long time periods to exist. And of course, these are confirmed to be working as seen below, which is great to see. There was obviously some problems with people trying to move money onto the Shibarium network, but at least now we know that that whole bridge process should be working correctly. Again, just expect this to take quite a bit of time as you go through it for right now. Again, in the future, they should be reducing this time. Now, what can we look forward to in the future, according to this post at least? So watch out on the official Shibarium updates from official channels. Make sure you're being careful of all the FUD and misinformation that gets spread around. Use the links below and be careful on any token you see on Shibarium and do your own research. Again, do your own research and be careful. They emphasize this because basically anybody can launch a token on Shibarium. Just because it's on Shibarium does not mean that the Shibarium team endorses these different tokens. Anything can show up on there. So there's going to be scam tokens. there's going to be really shady things that happen. So be very careful when you utilize the Shibarium network. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, please consider hitting the notification bell down below. And while you're at it, make sure you guys subscribe and like this video so you don't miss out on more content and help to get this video out to more people. Because that brings us to our next problem I'm going to show you guys in just a second that you need to be aware of. This is so critical. But before we talk about that, I just want to show you guys, yes, it does look like, in fact, Shibarium is live. You can go ahead, click all these links now. Originally, just a couple days ago, these links were not working at all. So it's great to see that these links are working. You can see here's the Shibarium website loading up. You can see all this different information, the total amount of bones staked, the validators, the block height, checkpoint intervals, last checkpoint, all this different information you guys can see here, and a list of different validators that you could go ahead and stake with. So great to see that this is up and running. Again, here are some different things. You can go ahead and add the SHIB mainnet or the SHIB testnet onto your MetaMask by just clicking this button. It's loading up my Phantom, but you guys get the idea. You can go ahead, click that, and load into your MetaMask. All right, so here is what you guys really need to be aware of. When you go over to shibariumscan.io right now, looks like it's loading blocks. So not all the blocks are being loaded currently, but you guys can see these different blocks that are loading in. The number of transactions that are loading are fairly small per block. You might be wondering, what the heck? When the launch of Shibarium happened, this is supposed to be so much higher. Why are we seeing so few transactions for every single block? What is happening here? Well, it's important to know a couple things. First of all, when we go ahead, we look at, for example, Shytoshi's Twitter account. Again, you could see that this Shibarium final scaling update post came out a couple hours ago, but it doesn't clearly say Shibarium is live. You'd have to click on this to find that out, that Shibarium is live. There's not a other post here, as you guys can see as we scroll through. There's not another post that says Shibarium is live, all caps, something like that. When we go over to the official SHIB Twitter account, there's not really an official post that says Shibarium is live. Use these links to utilize it. These things are not announced officially yet. At least it doesn't seem so. Now, I expect this to happen hopefully within the next couple of hours, but just be aware that if you guys are checking this video out shortly after it's uploaded, expect to see these transaction numbers fairly low because a lot of YouTubers haven't covered this. The official announcements are not really rolling out full steam yet. So expect to see this not to be shooting up in transaction volume because a lot of people just simply don't know that Shibarium is live right now. The other important thing to consider is, why would people use the Shibarium network? Why would you be doing transactions on the Shibarium network? That's something to really think about. And the answer is that you generally would have some kind of utility to use, whether it's a decentralized exchange or whatever it might be. You'd have something where you can actually go ahead, utilize the Shibarium network, maybe games, all these different things. We saw a massive list in another video, so I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but a massive list of utilities that are building on Shibarium. A lot of those either, one, are not officially launched yet because they're waiting for this network to go up and maybe do some code changes, things like that, so they're not officially launched yet, or two, there just has not been a lot of coverage of these different utilities. So I do know that a couple of these different things are live right now. However, there just hasn't been coverage, so people don't know about it, and so people are not going to interact and utilize those utilities, which means there's not going to be transaction volume going to these different utilities. So we need to wait a little bit as these different utilities start to officially roll out. We start to get press coverage, start to get attention for them, and then we can expect to see these different block transaction numbers dramatically increase into the hundreds or thousands, which will be a massive change for the Shibarium network. Now, we can actually go ahead and see that people are starting to realize Shibarium is live. You can see the Shiba Inu price saw a massive explosion in price literally within, for me right now, basically the past 2 hours. This massive run up in price for Shiba Inu. And so yes, right now it does say we're only up 1% on the day. However, important to note, that's only factoring from this line. So in reality, from down here where we were up to where we are right now is closer to 3%, a significant move in the price of Shiba Inu just within the past couple of hours. So again, a lot of people are realizing, wait a second, Shibarium's live. This is great. There's a lot of volume also that's starting to get pushed over to Shiba Inu. Again, up 46% on the day for volume. That is a massive spike in volume for any cryptocurrency to see. So absolutely massive to see Shiba Inu volume spiking. When we go ahead and take a look at BONE, you can see BONE also seeing a increase in volume. The price of BONE has not really increased yet. I think we're gonna have to wait to see a lot of people realizing, wait a second, to process these transactions, you need BONE as your transaction fee. I think a lot of people still don't realize that and they don't hold BONE. And that can actually be seen by going over to the Ethereum network. Of course, you'd need the BONE on Shibarium network, but you'd probably buy it on Ethereum. See holders still shy of 100,000 holders of BONE. Whereas Shiba Inu holders, over 1.3 million different holders, as you can see right here. So a ton of people hold Shiba Inu that don't have BONE. And so if they want to use their Shiba Inu on the Shibarium network, they have to have BONE as the transaction gas fee. So you might be wondering, with these different gas fees, what can we expect to see for the Shiba Inu burns going on into the future with the Shibarium network? Obviously, right now we're having very little burn amounts, but what is that going to look like in the future? If you guys want to know how this is actually going to be broken down and how this could explode 1,000 times what we're seeing right now, make sure you guys go ahead, check out that video up here to learn all about the Shibarium burns, and I'll catch you all in the next one.